I was born in a family where my father was a man who was like equivalent to an imam, religious man. Never smoked, he never drank, he never eat pork, and always lived a very, very pious life. And all 13 of his children were trained that way. And so I used to live with him and follow him in all of his things. And when he said, when you're 7 years old, you have to fast, we have to fast. That's the law. It's hard, but if you have discipline, you can do it. And I think that the success which you speak about is attributable to my religious upbringing, which brought with it that discipline.
From humble religious beginnings to an historic occasion on radio to political greatness, Kamaluddin Mohammed has spent his life dedicated to the service of his people and his country. Kamal, who was born and raised in El Socorro and still calls the Mohammedville area his home, says his father Fazal was one of the people who taught him that humility is one of the greatest lessons in life.
In the Persian language, Sheikh Sadi, the famous poet of the world, gave a quotation that if you want to succeed in life, you must be spiritually motivated. You must believe in God. Secondly, you must be humble at all times. And thirdly, you must be charitable.
1956 marked the beginning of Kamal's 30 consecutive years of service to his country as a Minister of Government. He served 2 separate terms of office as Minister of Agriculture. Then he was appointed Minister of Public Utilities, Minister of West Indian Affairs, Minister of External Affairs, and eventually his last appointments were as Minister of Health and Local Government. Kamal is the only surviving founding member of the People's National Movement. He recalled that it was at an event in San Fernando in 1951 that he first encountered Dr. Eric Williams, the founder of the People's National Movement. According to Mr. Mohammed, when he first suggested to Dr. Williams that he start a political party, the historian was reluctant.
I had said that since we have so many parties divided in Trinidad and we are not yet powerful, just as we got together to produce the Caribbean callaloo of culture, we could do so in a political party. I made that comment, not knowing that when we finished there, we had to go to the home of Dr. Ibit Musahib for dinner. And there we started to talk, and we all asked Dr. Williams, why don't you come and lead a party? And he said that time, no, I don't want to get involved in that. And I just got a call after that meeting, 2 weeks after, and he says, you know, Mr. Mohammed, I would like to have a little chat with you. I said, sure, sir, where, and so on, because I had a little Vauxhall car. Williams had a Buick, and he used to live in Lady Chancellor Hill. We used to go to his house for meetings. And I said to him, would you like me to come to you, or would we meet somewhere else? He said, no, I will come to you. I've heard a lot about your famous Indian restaurant, and I happen to like curry and dal puri. So I'm coming for lunch if Thursday will suit you. First he suggested a Friday. I said, no, that day I have to go to the mosque. And he came alone, parked the Buick in front of my business, and he came with his pipe smoking and his jacket. Half of his jacket burned out here with pipe thing. And he was such a charming man. And I was delighted to meet him because I had never, apart from the thing, met him. And we talked for about an hour and over a nice lunch. And he said to me, listen, if I am organizing, would you help me organize? I said yes. He said, well, I'll prepare a plan of action and I'll get back to you. Prepare the program. And he sent for me, and I went to see him at his chancellor home. He said, look, let us do a feel-out period first. I want to have a few meetings on independent subjects, not on politics.
During the tumultuous years of the election campaign of 1956, multilingual Kamal recalled that he always spoke before Dr. Williams. But in Debe, he had to speak in Hindi to calm the tension caused by another speaker.
When Winston Mahabir tell them the people in this area are suffering from hookworm in their brains, and people want to lick him down. So I had to come after, and when I went, I started a Hindustani man, and I melted the crowd with my speech. When we had our first meeting in St. Joseph, we had 10,000 people in that square on the hill opposite the medical clinic. And we had real people, and we had crowds, and William was a great speaker.
While admitting that he was a scared greenhorn during his early days in Parliament, Mr. Mohammed said the debates in the golden age of the upper and lower houses is far different from what prevails today.
You really don't have debaters. I mean, in the days when we were there, did you ever hear Bonnie Padma take on the opposition? He was scientific and very, very devastating, point by point. Did you ever hear Errol Mahabir, a non-university graduate like myself, debate? And when we went into debate, we had people used to really cup it up like a cup of Ovaltine. It was really nice. I would say, generally, in answer to your question, that I am disappointed that the standard of debates in the Parliament is not up to standard, both from the government side and from the opposition side. We don't have those caliber of speakers, and you don't have fellas analyzing a contribution and dealing with the contribution. As soon as they start, they cut off into personalities and race and so on. That is bad.
During his political life in 1978, he was elected to the post of President of the United Nations World Health Organization. And in 2005, he was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award for distinguished contribution to the Bollywood movie and music industries in the Caribbean. Kamal says he has no regrets about his 40 years in politics. And as he reflects on the number of interesting people and world leaders he's met, he maintains his philosophy of humility, so much so that he devotes his Saturdays to meeting the public.
It's difficult to say this one is the most memorable. So many amazing incidents in my life. As a minister for 30 years and an ambassador for a whole period, I always viewed people who come to see me with great humility, because somebody would not come to see you if they did not want something. And that is why when I started in 1956, every Saturday was allocated to seeing the public. And I was guided in all my things. If I had to meet people or do something, I did it with humility, and I always tried. In all my official things, and if I have to speak, I don't abuse people. I always speak with a lot of humility. And that, I think, has been so, and I'm trained that way, and at 80 now, I still behave the same way.